What's up, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Money. Now, the investing and things that we talk about on this channel, I find are typically pretty boring. They're boring, but they are consistent and they are proven and they will make you money, like investing in index funds. There really is not much more a boring type of investing than that, but it's proven, it works, it's low cost, and it's easy. The same way with investing in real estate, other than, when you're out looking for something or buying something or something's going on, it's pretty boring investing. The rents come in, bills get paid, you do the books, and you take home whatever's left over in profit. But I have a group of friends that were on a text message chat, which I'm sure a lot of you guys do. And oftentimes they'll talk about the latest stock thing that they've heard in the news or whatever. It's big time around when the Wall Street Bets guys were doing their thing. But they've been doing this, and we've been talking about this a lot longer than that. Like, for example, one of my friends got into Moderna, one of the major manufacturers of the coronavirus vaccine, like 3 years ago. So I got a text this morning from one of these guys, and he says, hey man, they are releasing a meme stock ETF. And I was like, okay, whatever. But it interests me because these things have been in the news and some guys did make a lot of money. And even though I always like to say, invest your money, don't put it on any one thing, don't get into one sector or one specific stock because that could tank your whole portfolio. I am into making some speculative trades, some bets. I mean, if I go to the casino, I'm going to play a hand of blackjack or put a bet on red or black at the roulette table. Like, it's fun to do. So I said, if they have an ETF that has all these stocks in it that people are talking about, I'm interested in doing that. And so I went out and purchased 4 shares of the BUZZ ETF as a speculative bet. But then I started diving a little bit deeper into it once I had already purchased it, which is obviously the wrong way to go. But for me, I was doing this strictly as a bet just to play around with $100 that I had laying on the side. So after the Wall Street Bets short squeeze activity on companies like GameStop and AMC, actual Wall Street started to pay more attention to online chatter, similar to how they used to monitor foot traffic coming in and out of stores. And if you think about it, that makes a lot of sense, especially with the way that they got hammered by the short squeeze. Like, if you lose $1 billion, you call someone to lose $1 billion, they're going to pay attention to what you're doing and try not to make that happen again. But monitoring these social media platforms, these blogs, what's going on with the news, and just kind of investor sentiment worldwide sort of makes sense because stocks frequently trade up or down on emotions, fears, expectations of what a company may or may not do. And the way that this ETF is put together has a mechanism in there to kind of try to gauge and capitalize on that by seeing which way investors are looking to put their money and how they're thinking and how they're feeling about stocks in the market in the future. So this fund was launched by VanEck's, and it's called VanEck's Social Sentiment ETF with the ticker BUZZ. And that sort of makes sense because they're tracking essentially the buzz of what's going on in the social media and the regular media world. And what it does is it tracks the BUZZ, B-U-Z-Z, Next Gen AI US Sentiment Leaders Index. And what they are doing here is they're tracking 75 of the top large cap US stocks with the highest positive investor sentiment, which is their feelings. And that large cap stock is a stock that has a market capitalization of over $10 billion, and that's going to be important down the line. Now, what they do with this is they take aggregate online information from social media, from blog posts, news articles, and they say other alternate databases. And what that really means is they are just looking across like Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, YouTube, any type of social media application, and they're looking for companies that people are talking about in a positive manner that that would mean that they were going to go up in value. Now, being that they're tracking large cap companies. And this is where I think this gets really into where this may be more of an investment type of thing versus a bet. Because when I first bought it, like I said, I really didn't do any research on it at all. So I figured they were tracking whatever meme stock was coming next, and they would be tracking these, smaller, very volatile companies, or maybe like penny stock companies and things like that. But they're tracking large cap companies, and those companies are very well established, so they're probably not going to go anywhere anytime soon, and even if they do go down in value, it's not like they're going to evaporate in value. And the folks that are talking about these could make them go up in value by quite a bit if enough people, like the GameStop thing, all funnel into one stock and cause it to increase in value quite a bit. In their key points of this ETF, they say that there has to be a consistent track record of discussions and not just some short-term bursts to have a company be included in these 75 companies that are in this ETF. So that they must have some metric that says that this is being talked about enough, that it's being talked about positively enough in order to be included, versus just maybe one particular post on Reddit blows up and then goes away, or on Facebook or on YouTube or whatever. But let's actually look at the ETF on the computer on VanEck's website so that we can get down into the nitty-gritty of what this entails and just how they run this thing. All right, so we're here at the VanEck website, and this should tell us everything that we need to know about what's in this fund, the fees, how they administer it, and all the things that you may want to know before you either make a bet or invest into this fund. And you can see that the actual name of it is called the VanEck Vectors Social Sentiment ETF. And you can see right in the fund description that it says that it tracks the performance of 75 large cap, being over $10 billion market capitalization, companies which exhibit the highest degree of positive investor sentiment and bullishness. And they use a tool called the BUZZ Next Gen AI US Sentiment Leaders Index as what they try to match with this ETF. As we can see, it's just started on March the 2nd of 2021. I believe that I was in on the first day that it was actually trading on March the 4th. And it has very low total net assets so far, only $1.2 million, of which 100 of that is mine. The gross expense ratio is 0.75%. And the reason that it's much higher than what we normally talk about on here is this is an actively managed fund. They rebalance this every month for the 75 companies that are going to have the highest sentiment. So that 0.75% is going to take a larger bite out of our returns versus the 0.04 for Vanguard or some of the zero fee stocks from Fidelity. But with the returns you're going to see later on in this portion of the website, it really doesn't make any difference. So I wanted to get down here to the key points. And the first one really shows how the Wall Street bet short squeeze action has affected actual Wall Street, because it says that the recent history has shown that retail investors can outsmart Wall Street. And for this fund, that retail sentiment is tracked by monitoring millions of online interactions. So that's going to be, like I said, your Twitters, Reddits, YouTube, Facebook, mainstream media, blog posts. They're going to be just scouring the web and the world for the sentiment of how people are feeling about certain companies in the market overall. And for this, it says a consistent track record of discussions and not just one particular post that happens to blow up is going to be required for a company to be included on this index, so that, one-offs aren't going to get included into this index, willy-nilly. Now, this fund has no performance because it's brand new, but the thing that it's tracking, the BUZZ TR, does have a performance history. 1 month, 2.76, 3 months at 19.07, year to date 14.08. Now in 2021, I know that exceeds the S&P 500 by quite a bit. I don't remember exactly how much it is, but the 1 year, 18.29, or not 18, 84.29%. That's insane for 1 year. So the returns on this are just incredible, and makes that 0.75% a lot easier to swallow. Now let's go over to the holdings, and you can see what's in this, because I said that it's large cap stocks. And most of these are household names. They're not chasing like micro cap stocks or penny stocks or whatever. I mean, we're talking about Ford, American Airlines, Facebook, Amazon, Pfizer. I mean, Pfizer is one of the companies that's making the coronavirus vaccine. These are household names that aren't going to crash out. They're not going anywhere. And I think that that's what makes this perhaps a better thing than just a bet. This may end up being an investment that is guided by just investor sentiment worldwide. So is this AI-driven, social media scraped ETF the way of the future? Or is it a sign that the market is literally at its top for the time being and that things are really starting to come off the rails? You know, I'm not sure. I don't know. I bought this as strictly a speculative bet without much research at all, just because I wanted to try to have fun in something. But after diving into it, it certainly looks interesting. So I don't know if this is the future or not, but something to think about is that when index funds first came out, people said that they were stupid, said they were crazy, said that nobody would want to be into an investment that simply matched the market and didn't try to beat it. So is this the next iteration of that, where now we have the technology to track all of these social media interactions and be able to see which way stocks are going to go before they go there and capitalize on that sentiment? And then from that, will people be able to game the system on a massive way and be able to just influence the way stocks are going to go up by manipulating this system? I don't know. I have $100 into this ETF, and if it looks like things are going well, I'll put some more money into it as a bet / investment. But obviously, I'm still going to stay true to my core investments, the VTSAX and real estate as my legit long-term holds for growing my wealth over time. If you guys liked this video and had some fun with me, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. That really helps it out in the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure to subscribe to grow your wealth, increase your success, put you on the road to financial freedom, and maybe have a little fun with me too in between all the other less fun investing that we do. I appreciate you guys watching today, and I'll see you in the next